آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. All praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granting us the opportunity on this blessed day of Jum'ah, the ability to come to His house to perform the faridah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the blessings and the khair of this day. And we ask Allah to protect us from all types of evil. Allahumma inna nas'aluka min fuja'ati al-khayr wa na'udhu bika min fuja'ati al-shar. Amin ya Rabbal Alameen. The purpose of remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to gain His nearness. And this has a series of things through which a person starts to get his closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who are the most closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah Azza wa Jal, He is making them His personal people. So in today's narration, Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu narrates, and this is also Hadith Qudsi, that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Man adali waliyan faqad adhantuhu bil harb." Whoever goes and creates or develops enmity against my wali, against my friend, then I go in war against him. So those who are closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are categorized as the friends of Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah says in the Quran, "Ala inna awliya Allahi la khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun." Understand, the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not have any fear or grief in their life. So when a person, he is trying to harm or put difficulty in the life of that individual who is close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then this individual is one of those people who has taken a war against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because this is a special person in the eyes of Allah, and anyone goes harm him is indirectly harming Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes in war against this individual, and then this person's life is eventually ruined. This is why it is very important for us to value every believer and to value the emotions of every believer. Because we don't know the condition of anyone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't know that this person, what is his relationship with Allah, or how much he is close to Allah Azza wa Jal. Sometimes we take decisions by the looks or by our authority. But the other person, he might be weak, but his relationship to Allah might be more greater than ours, and that can become the factor of our loss. So this wali of Allah is the closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah's Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in this hadith Qudsi, Allah Azza wa Jal says, how a believer can get close to Allah Azza wa Jal. The first thing is through fara'id. Actions that have been made obligatory for a believer to perform. The best way that a person, if he needs to start his journey getting closer to Allah, the first and foremost thing he needs to be mindful is his obligations, his fara'id. How much of those fara'id are being fulfilled, and how much this person gives importance to these fara'id. If a person leaves out the fara'id and start focusing on here and there, then he can never get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the first step to that journey is fulfilling your obligation. And then the second step after obligation, Allah Azza wa Jal says, a believer continuously gets close to me or tries to get his nearness to me through nawafil, through optional action, until he gets to that level that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts to govern his action. كنت أسمع به الذي يسمع بها. I become his ear through which he listens. I become his hands through which he touches. I become his eyes through which he sees. I become his feet through which he walks. When he asks anything from me, I grant. When he seeks protection against anything, Allah says, I grant him protection. So what does it mean by Allah Azza wa Jal becomes the eye, He becomes the ear, becomes the hand, becomes the feet? Allah Azza wa Jal becomes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes control of his actions. And Allah does not make him do things which are against the orders of Allah. When a person is constantly in the remembrance of Allah, then what happens? He is under the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows him to listen to only what Allah Azza wa Jal gives him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows him. Only those things which are permissible. Allah allows him to look at things only which are permissible. Allah allows him to do those things which are only permissible. Allah allows him to walk towards those things which are permissible. So he comes under the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why fara'id, these are the main actions that a person needs to be mindful of. And after fara'id are anything that a person can do from the optional perspectives that he can get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as he gains nearness to Allah Azza wa Jal, eventually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starts to govern his action, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes him on the right path and he becomes guided. So this is the journey that every believer must take on. And this is how a person becomes the friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as this hadith describes. This hadith gives us three things. The importance of a wali, what is the journey towards getting closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and number three, once a person is closer to Allah, then how Allah Azza wa Jal protects him from harm and haram, and how Allah Azza wa Jal takes him on the journey of those actions which are permissible and which gives him closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask the Almighty Allah to make us amongst the fortunate ones who are having the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we ask Allah to protect us from our nafs, from shaitan, and actions that are considered to be disliked in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. جزاكم الله خيرا سبحان الله وبحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك